Okay, we got audio, we got video. My internet's better. Last night it was being all fruity, but I think it was just overload. But we're good now because no one does anything in the morning but us, so it's good. And, yeah, I think that's it. All right, here we go, everybody. Join us now in 3, 2, 1.
Well, all right. See, which one of y'all put Harry's name in the goblet of fire?
This is Scott Fletcher, and I approve this podcast. This is The Morning Stream.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to TMS. This is The Morning Stream, episode 1905.
1905. You know, we would not do the morning stream without Scott Fletcher's approval. I think that's actually what makes this show happen.
Right.
A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, let's find out what happened. Oh, wow, there was a lot of stuff in 1905. There was the 1905 Revolution.
Oh, yes, the revolution.
Yeah,
the Great
remember that?
Revolution of 1905. Sure.
Yeah, that was a big one. Let's see. 1905 was a common year starting on Sunday of the Gregorian calendar and a common year starting on Saturday of the Julian calendar. Wow.
A common year.
Yeah.
Are there uncommon years of...
I don't know. That's weird, right? I don't understand what the difference is. It was... Oh, check this out. On the January 1st of that year, they instated a 9-hour workday for diamond miners. Previous to that, they had no limits. They would work them to the bone.
Yeah.
But that's good now.
Those poor dwarves.
I know, right? Oh, man.
Yeah,
just trouble.
Whistling and hooking up with tall ladies that randomly showed up at the doorstep.
How about this? Here's a good one. On February 11th, Pope Pius X published the encyclical Venimeter Nos. Whatever the hell that is. Somebody asked Third Eagle quick what that is, because that's a thing. Right. And then finally...
That is the document that illustrates why number 4 is the leopard. End times.
Yeah, end times. There you go. And then finally, on March 25th, Confederate battle flags captured during the Civil War were returned to the South. So there you go.
So Icor explains that 3 out of every 4 years are a common year. The 4th year being a leap year is an uncommon year.
Oh, leap year. Oh, duh. Okay. Yeah. We probably
it's just a way of saying a non-leap year.
We could have probably sussed that out if we thought about it.
I'm sure we could have, yes.
Yeah.
It's a common year.
We're not
common.
that dumb.
It's not rare.
No.
Or legendary. It's just common.
It's just common. It's not epic.
Sell it to the junk vendor. Cheap.
So check this out. It's April 2nd. It's we're over that potential nightmare that was April 1st. Nobody did anything too crazy, so that was good. That I saw anyway. Did you see anything that was like super out of bad taste or dumb or whatever for April Fools?
No. I mean, I think the only thing I saw, 2 things I saw, and I mentioned one of them, that Netflix changed their thing to say, their YouTube channel would be Netflix is a joke. And I only know that because I pulled it up for that John Mulaney clip that we played.
Mm-hmm.
It was part of the show. The only other thing I saw was Randy's Blizzard April Fool's stuff.
His fake patch notes.
Fake patch notes, which he does every year, and that's a tradition. You come to expect it, and you kind of... I mean, I'd feel bad if it wasn't there.
Yeah, and that stuff's fine.
My limited knowledge of World of Warcraft. Listen, I get in there, I hit these buttons in a specific order until the pixels that represent the health meter of the enemy go down to 0.
Yeah.
Then I click the enemy to add new items to my bag, which I then test against Ask Mr. Robot to see if I want to keep it or trash it.
Yeah.
And that's all my knowledge.
That's it. That's World of Warcraft for you, right there in a nutshell.
That's it. All of it.
That's kind of what it is for all raiders, if you think about it. It boils down to that.
No, it's not. I mean, come on, folks like Ro and Tatsemi and all these people in our raid team.
But what are they doing?
OMF and OLF. They know this stuff. They like, oh yeah, well no, Varian Windrider was the first dragon.
Varian Windrider.
You know, I'm making up names, but they sound like things that could be in.
You're not
World of
wrong.
Warcraft.
No, you're not wrong. That does sound kind of accurate, weirdly, but that was funny. I was going to say something about that, and I forgot what it was. Right when you said it, I looked up, and Illidan's on a poster right in front of me.
Of course he is.
Through
So,
my
I mean,
brain
you
out.
even know this stuff. Like I know the base story. Arthas bad.
Yeah, but at the end of the day,
Lich
we're
King
all
and,
playing it to make the numbers go up. At the end of the day, right? Like, aren't we
We
all
are,
doing
but,
that?
but some people get a story out of it. I don't get the story out of it.
It's not really.
I've tried
your
to
bag.
get the story out of it. It's not important to me. I enjoy the game regardless of the story that comes along with it. So,
Despite
totally
the story,
with that.
Brian's having a good time. That's what he's saying.
Aside from the story,
Aside-
I
there
think
you
not
go.
despite. Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
In spite of the story.
In spite of the shite story, I'm really enjoying the game.
Dear Blizzard,
Yeah.
story sucks.
Well, some people think it does.
Yeah, well.
They can bite.
Oh
me.
my gosh, there's angry people on Twitter, you say?
No,
What?
no. What is this shocking news you've brought to us this fine day?
I know we've got a letter from Free Hotel Room, which I can't wait to get to. Believe me, can't
Oh,
wait.
yeah.
But love you, Bob. I didn't put this in the notes. Want me to tell you what happened on my bike ride yesterday?
Yeah, if it involves you on a bike, I'm in. I'm all in. Especially if you wore anything that was tight or ill-fitting. What'd you do? How'd it go?
Everything. It's impossible for me to wear something tight that isn't ill-fitting with my body shape. It's like trying to fit the contents of 1,000 Hunt snack pack puddings into a into a garbage bag is what I look like on a bike.
Wow.
Anyway,
all right.
maybe not.
That's quite the
But,
visual. That's a visual I didn't expect to see in my head, but there it is, right here. I can see it.
I did take a new route for a ride yesterday. Still 9 miles, lots of uphill, which is really good. Good practice.
Yeah.
But on the last stretch, there's a juice stopper. It's called Into Juice that's on the way home. And they have a great watermelon orange juice drink that's called the Sunset Beach that I stop and get every once in a
Oh,
while.
juice stop. I thought you said juice stop.
A juice stop, yes. I pull over, they go, "Hey, Vay,
Hey.
you should know from bicycle problems."
The top 1% and the 1% of the percent.
1%, the 40% of the. Anyway. So I pop in there. I say, "Do you guys?" I didn't bring a wallet. Do you guys do Apple Pay? No, we don't do Apple Pay. I'm like, oh shoot. He says, "Well, you can order and prepay from our website."
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, cool. And I pulled out my phone. I know one of my credit card numbers enough to be able to enter it in and all that stuff. So I do that, order the drink, get it. And I take it out and I put the drink in my drink carrier because I've got 2 bottle cages on my bike.
Oh, right.
And one of them holds the water bottle, the other one is empty, so I just put it in there.
Is it vertical or is it one of those laying underneath the thing?
It's vertical.
Okay.
The one my water bottle is in is at an angle. And I would not be able to put the juice in there because it would just, the lid would come off and I'd make a little trail of juice all the way home. Or a little Jew trail all the way
Jew
home.
trail, sure. Yeah. Trail of Jews.
So as I put the juice in my bottle cage, my handlebars turn slightly because I'm not holding them, and a bike tire only makes 1 point of contact on the ground. So the slightest movement in the bicycle, the handlebars turn. As it does that, the right handlebar brushes against what I can only describe as a Jenga style pile of chairs on a table that they've put on there because they don't want people sitting outside anymore on their patio.
Right.
Basically,
they're social
they've taken the
distancing.
table,
Yeah.
they've stacked chairs on top of it. Now these chairs don't stack on top like a normal, right angle chair on a table. Perfect. It sits there just like it should. These are rounded, like they've got the rounded armrest things, like your arms basically come down from the shoulder of the chair
Yeah.
and connect to the base. So they're really not on there very well, and they're stacked precariously. And so my bike handle hitting it just unleashes an avalanche of chairs falling off of this table,
Oh, no.
which gets the attention of the construction guys sitting around, also drinking juice from the Into Juice, about sitting out in the parking lot. I don't know what they're doing, but they were out there 3:30 p.m. just sitting out there relaxing. So I don't know. I don't know what they were doing, but I'm sure they were on the clock.
Yeah, sure. That's the
They'll
real.
look over and and I go, yeah, I know. It's like, I guess I just played Jenga or something like that. And they chuckled.
Did you have to clean it up? Did you have to stack it?
I started stacking them back up.
Yeah.
And in the process, my bike decides, I'm just going to give up, and decides to fall over. Now, my phone is still in my pocket, in the back pocket of my bike shirt, which is good because in falling over, it takes my phone mount,
Oh no!
which I'm holding up right here, breaks off the back, and flings it into the parking lot.
No. Oh, you're so lucky that it wasn't on there.
I'm lucky. This thing would have protected. It is like a great shock mount.
Yeah.
Like it's got some good,
Yeah.
protection for it. Little
Sure.
rubber grips on the back here.
Yeah.
But still, it's like, oh man.
Yeah.
So my $5 juice ended up costing me a $40 bike mount.
Oh my lord, dude.
Yeah.
That sucks. Those are nice. You're right about
This
the
is a
shock
nice
protection.
one too. Yeah. I mean, this one, like, it opens up really, as big as you need it,
Mhm.
and then locks on the back so that you can open it up and keeps the phone really sturdily mounted.
Do you do a protective screen as well, or do you are you not one of those? guys?
Not on this one.
I did last gen. My last gen phone, I did. This one, I did not. I don't know why I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't.
Yeah, you don't even do an out case, right?
No, I have a case. I have this.
have a case.
It's
I thought you didn't
see-through.
do a case.
It's see-through, but it's kind of a rubberized. But you can see through it. It's like a.
I do the see-through case as well, so that I can put stickers in there without having to actually peel off and stick the stickers.
Cause I'm thirsty, feeling bad against Sunday.
Exactly, yes.
Hey, wait.
That
That's
is-
the same case manufacturer as me. I think the only difference is mine is an 11,
Yours
not a
for
10.
the 11, mine's for the 10. Yep.
And it's
exactly.
but it's that same. And it was like $7. These are great. I love these.
It is great, and it goes far enough above the screen that if my phone lands face down, it the screen doesn't make contact with the with whatever it lands on. It protrudes far enough above.
I do find myself in these odd times being
Odd times.
being very careful with my phone more than usual, because if I were to break it or drop it and have it die, your options are severely limited right now.
Oh, right, because the Apple stores are closed, aren't they?
They are, so you can't just run down there. Our entire mall where the Apple store is near us is closed, so you can't just run down there and have a genius idiot do it. Also,
Genius idiot.
I mean,
It's
you can call Apple.
well, that
and-
is an oxymoron.
Yeah, it kind of is. But some of them are oxymorons, if you know what I'm saying. Anyway, I could call them and they'd go, okay, yeah, mail it back. We could do that whole thing. But this is such a crucial, like, communication device in times like this that you want to be careful with it, man. You just got to be careful. You got to take care of your phone. Stroke your
totally
phone.
do. Exactly. That's a really good point right now.
Yeah.
The AT&T stores might still be open. And
They might be. You could probably, well, do they do it if you didn't get it there, though? Do they care? Because
Oh, well, yeah, you have to.
I have them as my service, but I didn't get the phone there.
Oh, they'd still probably take care of you. Yeah.
Are they open though? I don't even think they're open. Or maybe they're considered the crucial business.
I think they're considered crucial because it's. I mean, I would think that phones are people's methods of communication right now as they're locked in their homes. Some people don't have landlines, so.
Well, let's
God,
see.
that's a really good question.
Let's see. I'm looking right here. The one at the district.
We've adjusted our retail store presence to focus on handling first responder and critical customer needs. We're also limiting the number of customers in our store and reduced hours and closed stores on Sunday, as well as taking extra cleaning. So their stores are still open, not on Sundays, and they're reducing the number of customers that can be in there. Which, gosh, AT&T probably means you've got to help them a little bit faster than you normally do because there's like a 20-car pileup of people every time I go in there.
Always, yeah. Okay, so it looks like 10 a.m. They open in about a half an hour where I live.
There you go. So 30 minutes. You've got 30 minutes to break your phone.
Okay.
Until you can go there and get it dealt with.
Let's see what I can
So
do.
anyway, ordered a new phone mount, and for now, I'm just gonna have to keep my phone in my back pocket where I can't casually spin a Pokestop as I ride by it on my bike at the perfect rate of speed.
Oh, the humanity, Brian! I forgot.
Humanity. Oh, the Pokemanity.
How will you ever do it?
How will I restock my balls?
Yeah, you can't. That's
True.
the answer.
How will I restock my balls, Scott?
You can't.
Well, the good news is the weather has turned, and
It's better here too.
gonna
Although we
be
got
40.
we got this much snow overnight. Although it was 60 something yesterday, but overnight we get a little snow.
really?
Don't ask me why.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
weird.
No, the weather's turned bad for us. Like we've had 60s for the last couple of days. Now we're now we're getting into the rain, turning into snow tonight for the next 2 days, and then back up into the 60s and low 70s for the weekend.
April snow can bite me. I don't like it.
You know what? I don't mind it because what it does is it waters the lawn. It melts super quick, almost immediately in some cases.
That's true. You don't turn on your lawn
And,
stuff yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kim
I'll take an April snow over a February, March snow.
Kim wants to plant all this business over here that she's had. We've got our little private garden patch thing in the basement with this light over it over here. It's all starting to grow bad. Like these bean sprouts are all up in like the 2 feet range now. And she wants to plant them, but we can't plant them until we're locked at a decent temperature outside. So anyway, we'll deal with it. All right, we got an email from Free Hotel Room. His name
Farmer Problems.
Yes. Farmer Problems. First Farmer Problems. Free Hotel Room, aka Bob, wrote in, says young people and the coronavirus. This is one of his least sarcastic emails. I'm kind of impressed.
It really is. Like he put aside the sarcasm and the please figure yourselves out.
Yeah, yeah.
What we usually get from him.
Yeah, he didn't do any of that. He said, you spoke of young people and the coronavirus recently. You add to the confusion when you say you are not specific in what you say. I believe a nurse had commented about her experience with the intake to the hospital by age group. There are 3 statuses to use when discussing the coronavirus. There are confirmed cases, deaths, and recovered. So it still remains true that younger people can be confirmed cases, but they mostly recover. You misled the tadpole to believe that previously reported stats about coronavirus affecting the young might be wrong. I mean,
Okay. Yeah, good point.
I guess so. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
the thing is, here's the problem. He's right. He's 100% right.
Yeah.
And if people came away with wrong info, then that's on me. But still, the hardest part about all of this is all this stuff is still between the lightning and the thunder. We don't have accurate anything right now. And so everything changes every freaking day. 2 weeks ago, people were ripping on people for wearing masks in public, and now everyone's going, better wear a mask in public. Like, it's just 1 minute to the next, you never know what's going to change. So, but he makes a really good point. He goes on to say, so specifically, the nurse may see many cases with young people. What she did not say is that a high percentage of them recover. Let's see. This is especially true when compared to older people, as previously reported and documented by the CDC. It is called faulty generalization when you take your experience of one person and apply it to the group. So even if the nurse had stated her experience in a way that was accurate, you still cannot use it. He's right.
Right.
You're right.
Small sample size. We need big sample sizes.
Yeah, you're totally right. And then people, the other email we read, was it a nurse or was it was the physician's assistant? Maybe it's the same person we're talking about, but they said they were starting to think that the age thing was a misnomer. But again, it's based on their specific experience, and we don't have overall number. We just don't have the numbers yet. And we don't know how accurate the ones coming out of China are. I assume the ones that we get out of Italy will be more accurate, or more widely reported, but they're still figuring that out. So, and today's the day you start hearing about all the rural areas in the states getting their big infections. So we'll look out for that. Did you hear the governor of freaking not Florida,
Georgia?
What is wrong with that guy? He gets up and says, we just found out less than 24 hours ago that you can carry this virus and spread it even if you don't have symptoms. No, you didn't. If you didn't, then you're stupid.
We knew that. Yeah, exactly.
We knew that. You know who knows that? I think my 1.5-year-old grandson might know it. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
I couldn't believe he said that. I'm sorry, Georgia people, but your governor is stupid if he believes that. Now, there's a question of whether he believes it. And then if he doesn't, and he's just saying things, well, then he's deceitful. So either way, dumb or deceitful, that's who you got.
Right. Yes, one exactly. Yeah.
Good Lord. What is it with some of these southern governors? I don't want to apply this to everybody because there's some decent,
of course,
governors out there. But Texas, Florida, and Georgia, all your governors are dingbats. All right.
It's true.
That's all I got to say about that. Let's get our monthly dose of Gidget Von LaRue.
Yes.
All up in it. Gidget comes on the show all the way from the Holy Land of Australia. I don't know why I call it the Holy Land. The Queen's prison calling is what we like to call it.
That's right.
And she's trying to call us. Don't do that, Gidget. You got to answer our call.
That's not how this works.
Yeah, you answer our call.
Not how the Force works, Gidget.
Yeah, you got to answer us. Okay, there she is.
We actually have the show.
Yeah. Gidget, are you there?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Hi.
How are you?
Hi, g'day guys. How you doing?
Good. I want to play this.
Trivial things.
That's your theme for when Gidget comes on.
Yeah,
And,
that's it. That is the thing. So like I've just come back from overseas. I was lucky to get home before people returning from overseas were put in hotels. 5-star hotels, by the way, but they're all having a whinge anyway.
Yeah.
But I missed out on all your talk. I mean, I've been listening to it on Tiger King. Madness.
Yeah. Did you watch that then while you were, because you were stuck in Hawaii a little bit, right? Or did you get out of there before you got stuck? Is that what you're saying?
We got out of there before we got stuck. So we were meant to be there for three and a bit weeks, and Hawaiian Air had their last flight from Oahu to Sydney, and we were lucky to get on that last flight. But everything was closed anyway. So, all the shops are closed, the restaurants are closed. The room service was weird. They couldn't bring the room service trolleys into the room, so they had to give it to you outside. I mean, goodness me. I mean, it's just uncouth, really.
How dare they? Yeah. So, I'm glad you made it back. Was it the packedest flight of all time? Or was it like people just piled on top of each other?
No, that was the weird thing. There was hardly anyone on the flight because I think no one from overseas that wasn't an Australian resident was allowed to come back on the flight. So it was only Aussies. So the plane was probably, 60% packed. And of course, we were in business class. So that was only... There was only 4 of us in business class.
You guys are fancy. Look at
nice.
you guys traveling in
I know,
style.
fancy, huh?
Do it up right.
I've been on international. I've been on international business class flights, and it's like first class in the States. It's very nice.
Yeah. Oh, it's sweet.
Yeah.
It's sweet. If it's worth it, I'd rather stay at home than have to do like 12. Aussies are used to traveling a long time. In cattle class, but if you're going to do it, you're better to save up. And have a really awesome vacation than go on vacation 3 times a year.
Yeah, I agree.
Is my theory.
Except for the timing sucked, and but I'm also glad you got out of there and you're not still stuck there. So.
Oh, thank you.
Well
done.
Done.
It's nice to be home. Now, I thought of a thing with it because I've watched it twice now. This Tiger King thing.
What? Really? You've watched it all the way through twice?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Fascinated. I'm fascinated. Human reality is more fascinating than any story people could come up with. So I thought, who would you cast as the roles if they made a movie?
Sure. So didn't we talked about that?
So Dak
Shepard
is having an online fun time with Edward Norton over who should play the Tiger King himself. And then you and I were talking the other day on FilmSec, didn't we? I think we both kind of thought that Sam Rockwell would be good.
Sam Rockwell would make a great.
My pick. That is my pick. Sam Rockwell, I think, just age him up around the eyes a bit, but he's got the same shaped face. Okay, this is mine for what's her name? The crazy bitch,
Carol Baskin.
Yeah, Carol Baskin. She kept the animals worse than anybody else. I mean, they were all taking advantage of these animals.
The cage that has the head opening with the water bowl.
Oh my god!
By the way, there's photos floating around. Brian and I got an email on this. There's photos of her at the VMA Awards sitting next to Britney Spears for some reason, and then
that is so her. I know people are saying that's not her, but that's so her. And I think she had that albino python, and I think that's what she gave to Britney for that particular
It's probably her snake.
award. That's my theory.
Yeah, I think that's her snake. And then also that Bagavon, what's his name? Don Bagavon, Ding Dong.
Yeah,
that guy. He's in
the cult leader.
It's his cat that's in her video that has the tiger in it. What was the video?
Here, kitty, kitty.
Is that
her video.
I love how they all try and do music too.
God,
like
I know.
the are the least problem in their lives. Like they've got like hundreds of tigers and lions and chimps and stuff, but they're the least problem. They're the things that bring the attention to them to make music videos and be on TV and be famous.
Yeah.
And you know, but I thought for Carol, I thought Laura Linney, like all these women would have to beef up. Laura Linney, Jennifer Jason Leigh, or Holly Hunter.
Yeah.
I kind of like Laura Linney, because she can play that kind of hippy dippy. I'm currently watching her in Ozark, and she does the Laura Linney that we all come to appreciate and love, which is the hysterical.
Oh yeah, her
Laura
eyes,
Linney,
big-eyed, wide
Yeah.
eyes all
Yes.
the time.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
We saw it in.
That's
we
what I
see it in
thought.
Love Actually, we see it in
Truman Show.
Truman
All that, yeah.
everything.
She just needs to beef up a bit, and which I think she's willing to do. A lot of actors are willing to do that, beef up for the role. I thought for Johnny Finlay, who is the toothless guy,
Okay.
with the no shirt, with the tattoos, I thought Tom Hardy.
Oh yeah,
Perfect.
Tom Hardy could totally play him. You'd have to ugly him
Yeah.
up, but yeah, he could do it. He could do it. Because
Yeah,
the thing
he
about
could
that
totally do
kid, that guy, is that he's a kind of a handsome guy with a lot of problems. You know what I mean? And I think that
Meth is a hell of a drug.
it's a
bud.
hell of a drug.
It
And
is.
It'll
Yeah.
mess you up bad. But there's something about him where you look at him and go, you know what? You could have been okay. And I think that Tom Hardy could do that all right. I think that's a good
Yeah.
pick. That's a good call.
Can I give you
Okay,
my
thank
pick
you.
for either Doc Antle or Jeff
Jeff Lowe.
Lowe.
All right.
Jeff Lowe?
Yeah, Jeff Lowe.
David Morse.
Okay. No, that's
Ooh.
good. That's
Yeah.
pretty good. David Morris is great. He's at the age too. We'd play a great Doc Antle. Or you know what? Oh, he's a girly. Okay, Brian
You'd
sold
be
me.
a really good Jeff Lowe.
Yep,
Like
you're
really
right on.
creepy.
that kind of sitting back on. Yeah, I didn't know what was going on. Like that whole
See,
thing.
I thought for Doc Antle, I thought Steve Martin,
Oh, maybe he'd have
because
to.
he's already
really,
had the facelift. So I thought he would be quite good, or maybe Dan Aykroyd.
He'd have
And
to-
I think for,
Dan Aykroyd.
Tim Robbins. Icor says Tim Robbins, and I think Tim Robbins would be a really good choice for Doc Antle.
I think Aykroyd's a good call too. That's not
Aykroyd
bad.
would be good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
It'd be
and
funny to
Rick
see these guys that are
Kirkman.
funny though.
Yeah.
Rick Kirkman, I think Dennis Quaid,
Yeah. Quaid could probably
Which one's
do
Rick Kurtman? Which he's
the reality show producer
Yeah.
with the cowboy hat that smoked all
it.
the
Yeah.
time.
Dennis Quaid's good.
Right.
That's a good call.
Yeah.
Yep, yep. And I think my pick for Jeff Lowe was either Bruce Willis or Kevin Bacon.
Oh, all right. Oh, Bacon would be good. I could see that. And Bruce Willis maybe.
Yeah.
Here's my pick for the Hitman guy.
Yeah.
It's just too easy. You get wait, who plays Daryl on Walking Dead?
Norman Reedus.
Norman Reedus. If you put those two next to each other and hear their voice and look at their faces, they're already the spitting image of each other.
Or you just got to shave Reedus's head.
Yeah, shave him up a little.
Or give him a bald cap or whatever.
Age him up,
Perfect,
age him
yeah.
up a little bit, but it's the same guy, and you got your cast done. We did it.
What's funny is we've pretty much just taken the cast of The Green Mile and put it into the
No, I think the weird guy that had, what was his shop, by the way? Because he had the Lima, but what did he sell in his shop? It wasn't a
Page
pet
Boy
shop.
jet ski guy.
No.
Yeah.
It looked like some weird convenience store that also had pet food.
You talking about the guy that owned the two
I
strips?
couldn't figure out. I've watched it twice. I couldn't figure out what he sold. But I think the actor that played Richard Jewell
Oh yeah, I could do it.
in the Clint Eastwood movie, I think he put that wig on him, and I think he would be perfect.
Hold on though. Why? Well, I thought he just owned strip clubs. Did he? Did he have? I don't know.
Yeah, he has a kid.
Well, that's
like
what
the
I couldn't
last-
figure out. Supposedly, they made him out like really in the early beginnings. They made him out like he had strip clubs and nightclubs, right?
yeah.
So you'd
Yeah.
be raking it in if you
Right.
had those things in his location. So why is he suddenly sitting in a store with a Lima and you know
Because
farmer
he spent all
equipment?
his money on a sweet jet ski and a pair of sunglasses.
and a,
That's sweet, man.
Yeah, and a baby blue T-shirt to wear while he wrote it. So
Nico Wolf is correcting us. It wasn't a jet ski. It was a wave runner.
Sorry,
okay,
Wave
gotcha.
Runner,
So
sorry.
it wasn't a frisbee. It was a flying disc.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
I used to have both, and people used to get so precious about like calling them, and it's just like, you know what? It's a thing that goes across water.
it's a water vehicle.
That's it.
Yeah.
vehicle
Jason
on
Calhoun
the water.
pretty much nails it. Danny McBride, but you know what? He didn't have to say who Danny McBride plays. Danny McBride could do the one-man Broadway performance of Tiger King and play all the roles.
Just the whole thing, yeah.
Oh my
the
god.
whole thing. Yeah.
I'd watch that. I'd be into that.
I would watch that
money.
The one man play of Tiger King.
Yeah.
And he even
Exactly.
plays like the big cat.
Yes. Raw, right? I'm gonna
Yes.
I'm gonna come
You know,
at
the
you right
weird
here
thing
like
is
I'm a tiger.
the feedback from people that are only just starting to listen to it for me was the minute that like people like me that are really into Attenborough and they saw the snow leopard, which is so rare.
It's very
rarer
rare.
than tigers
Yeah.
in the cage. And people are like, nah, can't watch this and turn it. And I've kept saying to people, you got to stick with it because it's not I mean, look, it is about the animals, but it's about this intrigue and these people and these crazy berserk
Yeah.
you know, people, you've got to stick with it. But yeah, there is that upsetting point of, all right, this has been amusing, but what about the animals?
That was the hardest part of the thing for me, is seeing how the animals are treated. Pulling the brand new born tiger cub out of the cage with a metal rod underneath the fence.
Oh,
through
underneath
all
the
dirt.
thing, yeah, like look. None of these people in this documentary actually really love animals, and I'm not
Right.
a PETA person or anything. I eat meat, all that sort of thing. I care for animals. That's why I'd never have something like that, because I think that it needs to be under a certain, like in a safari or something, in a big property under a safari or back in the wild. But you think, like there was that, I think there was at one scene in episode 5, and it showed all the tigers in one cage, and there was like 20 of them.
Mhm.
And tigers don't live in a group. Tigers
No,
live
no.
independently. They're not like lions. Lions live in a pack, and tigers don't live all together. So you're just going, this is not how. And even he admitted, I think,
Yeah.
at the end when he
But
kept the
this
two
isn't
chimps
how-
apart, he suddenly regretted that. But we've got very strict laws here in Australia, and I'm really glad we do.
Mm. Oh,
Like
yeah.
none of us can own any of those animals.
Yeah, because
We-
you
we
guys,
can't.
they're all on endangered species lists. Half the stuff out where you exist or where you live, and after that fire, it's even worse. So yeah, don't own.
Well,
You
it
don't.
always has been. I mean, we're an island, so we've always been very, very strict with only circuses and certain zoos and stuff can have animals like that, but no one can have anything like that as a pet. You can have a dog or a bird or a cat,
Yeah.
some fish. That's about it,
Yeah.
really. So
All right.
there's none of that allowed here.
Have
so
your
I'm
have
kind
your
of glad
fish.
in a way.
Have your fish, everybody. All right, let's get to this.
So we better
Yeah,
get to your
fishy,
questions,
fishy,
because right
fishy.
now
Yeah,
you only,
I know.
Yeah.
Okay, all
you
right.
only have time for 2 questions each. Now.
Now we'll whip through it. We can do it. We can do
Have
it.
I not pressed the right button?
No.
I put lipstick on and everything.
Oh, you didn't press. You didn't hit your the little button that has the slash
Scott!
to the camera. No,
if
don't
we-
call him.
if we
Don't call
get
him.
you on video. Yeah, let him sleep, because if we can get you on video quick, then
Yeah, we're out of
we
time.
gotta
No,
keep
he's
going.
coming. He's ready. He set his alarm.
Yeah, all he has to do is hit turn on camera there, right
Okay.
next to the leave call.
I'm not on video camera.
But don't hit leave.
No, I'm not gonna hit. He knows what he's doing. I don't know what I'm doing.
I know. Last time you hit leave though.
Yep, there it is.
There you go. There it is.
Okay, good.
Hey,
Thanks, Scott.
Oh, you did put on lipstick.
he was ready.
All right. Tell
See you, Scott.
Yeah, bye, Scott. Tell Scott solidarity. Scott's
Bye,
for the win.
honey. Bye. Have fun. Thank you. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do today, it's only 10 questions. We'll get through it really quick. It is the morning stream 80s movie cast. So I'm going to name the cast name of the characters,
Mm-hmm.
and you've got to name the movie.
Okay.
So who
love
wants
it.
to go first?
Let's let Scott go first on this one.
Okay. I'll do it first.
I may regret
Okay.
that when I hear the ones he gets and the ones I get. We'll see.
Now we'll see how we go. All right. So
Chat
the
room getting
cast,
hidden
the
right now.
cast names and Discord. Behave yourselves.
Oh, are you putting it in Discord?
But don't put them in Discord.
Oh
You
no,
mean the
no,
chat room?
not Discord.
Yeah, I told the chat. I
Yeah,
hid the chat room,
chatties,
so
the
I can't see
chatties.
it. Yes.
Yeah,
That's
they'll
all
behave
right.
themselves.
We're just not looking at it. So you're good.
All right. So Scott, the character names: Ty Webb, Danny Noonan, Judge Smales, Carl Speckler.
Give me the judge name again.
Judge Smiles, Smails.
Is this that terrible Aykroyd movie.
It is not.
It's not that where he's got the penis nose.
You're thinking Squarini? No, it's not Squarini. I got that going for me, which is nice.
Oh, Caddyshack.
Yep.
Correct.
Brian.
Yes.
Brian got me
A
there.
little help.
All
Sorry.
right.
It's all right.
I
Little
said
help
to
doesn't
Dolly,
hurt.
how about a little something for the effort?
Nice. All right, Brian's turn.
All right, so that was Scott. All right, so Brian. All right, the cast names are Nurse Alec Price, Jack Goodman, David Kessler.
Shit. David Kessler. That sounds really familiar. And nurse. What was the nurse's name?
Nurse Alex Price.
Alex Price. Alex Price. Jeez. See, I should have gone first because then I would have gotten Caddyshack and I would have given this one to Scott. Jack Kessler. Oh,
Maybe just think of the first two male names.
yeah, Jack and what was it? Jack and
David.
David and Jack. Jack and David. Yeah, because those are really unusual names that you don't hear often. David and Jack. Jeez. I'm just gonna guess to keep things moving. Is that Weekend at Bernie's?
Nope.
All right.
I have,
All right,
Scott,
Scott?
do you have
I have no idea. No steal. I have no idea who those are.
All right. Nurse Alex Price, Jenny O'Gutta, Jack Goodman, Griffin Dunn, and David Kessler, David Norton.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Griffin Dunn. After Hours?
American Werewolf in London.
Oh, sure. Okay.
I've only seen that once, and it was so long ago.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah,
That's one that I don't know why we haven't seen yet for Film Sack, or have we seen it? For Film
we
Sack?
haven't, but it's never streamed, as far as I know. We need to.
Yeah.
Get it.
You should. You should. It still holds up, I think. All right. Scott.
Yeah.
Susan Johnson, Linda Marola, Hobson, Arthur Buck.
Hobson.
I've given it away.
Why didn't I get the odd numbered ones? Come on.
It's all right. It gets easier. I started off with hard. It
Yeah.
gets easier. Trust me.
Liza Minnelli thing. With the Arthur.
Yeah.
Yes.
She actually gave you the name of the movie.
Yeah, I did.
It wasn't
I
ringing a
did.
bell. It didn't
Arthur
ring a
Bach,
bell.
yeah.
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 I got it
I
now.
told you it gets easier.
The
Okay.
Liza Minnelli thing. So it's not the Dudley Arthur is not a Dudley Moore thing to you?
I
It's a
couldn't-
Liza Minnelli
I
thing?
couldn't think of Dudley Moore's name at the time. It just wasn't coming to me. All right.
Okay. All right, Brian.
Yeah.
Okay, Maggie, the Duke, President, Snake.
Oh, that's Escape from
Oh,
New York.
Yeah.
Correct.
Shoo, because I was not going to get it from the Gook. The Gook. The Gook is.
The googly googly.
The Uke is up.
Yeah, I was not going to get it from that, but Snake was the thing that
Push you over the
pushed
limit.
me over the edge. Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
Nice job.
push it to the limit.
Good thing.
Yeah.
All right, Scott,
Yeah.
Mary, Keys, Gertie, Elliot.
Oh, it's, E.T., the extraterrestrial.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, and also,
Did they never say their last name?
hang on.
Oh, that's hilarious. You need to put a. There's no URL on there, by the way.
Yeah.
Did they not have last names in E.T.? Like, did we never find out?
They did, but I
Elliot's?
wasn't going to put their last names because it was too
Okay.
bloody easy.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
It's all just family. Gertie family. Elliot
Yes.
family.
Elliot, Michael.
Yeah, they're all the same family.
Yeah, I
apart
love
from
Keys
Ugly
though.
Ian
Keys
and
is a great.
Keys is
a
great.
character.
Yeah, that's very good.
Petey Coyote.
Mhm.
Okay, so it is Brian.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Brian, Johnny, Ali, Daniel, Mr.
All right, is it the
Miyagi.
karate? Yeah, I was gonna say, is it the Karate Kid?
Yeah.
I'm glad to say I got it before Mr. Miyagi because
Yeah, you did good. You did good.
yeah.
Nice job.
Oh,
Bloody
that's
bag.
funny. I test these all on the Colonel, and the minute I said Daniel, and he still didn't get it, and then I said Mr. Miyagi, and he just lost it. He's like,
Yeah.
"Do you want to make it any easier?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Well, All right, so Scott.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
so Andy, Brand, Mikey, Chunk.
Oh, the Goonies.
Yes.
Yeah,
Right.
Goonies. Chunk is where I. The rest of it, I
Chunk,
forgot all their
yeah.
names, but Chunk you never forget. You never forget
Chunk,
your
you
first
never
chunk.
forget. Never forget your truffle shuffle.
That's right.
Oh, okay. This has worked out. This should really be a Scott question, but it's over to you, Brian.
Okay.
Okay.
Hint.
All right. So Jebediah,
Yeah.
Iron Bar, Aunt Entity.
Oh, okay. It's Mad Max Thunder Beyond Thunderdome.
Yes.
Correct.
Well done.
Nice job.
Yes. Anti-
Brian knows who runs Bartertown. He knows.
Who
Oh,
runs
yay.
Bartertown?
I run
Master
Bartertown. Master Blaster does.
Into the microphone. Master Blaster runs Bartertown.
We don't need another hero. All right.
Oh God, I met Angry Anderson. He was Angry Anderson. He was actually a very nice person
Mm,
when I used to work on the midday show. He was
nice.
really nice.
really?
Nice.
Okay. Yep. Nice guy. Very short. Okay. So Scott. All right. Jenny, Monique, Lane, Ricky.
Jenny, Monique, Lane, Ricky. Oh.
Wow. Tough one.
Oh. No, that's probably not it.
J.K. Grammar got it.
Hot. Whoa. Okay.
All right. So would it be make it better if I say Ricky?
No.
No.
No. Okay.
One
Fine.
hot. What is it? The one
Right.
hot summer
hot bet,
thing where
please.
he draws the cartoon bunnies. Hot.
Oh, yeah, John Cusack. Yeah, one crazy summer.
One
is
crazy
what
summer. Is that it?
Nope.
That's a weird
Wow,
buzz.
we're
Just-
going so well. We need a smoke break.
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
All right.
Geez, with Steel, I don't even know.
All right, Brian. Okay, Jenny, Monique, Lane, Ricky.
Wow.
Oh.
Monique.
Oh.
Monique.
Now Scott's got it.
I can't re-steal, but I hope Brian
No.
gets it.
You can give me a line like
You know
I
what?
did for you with.
I'll give you a
Ketchup.
hint.
Yeah.
David Lee Roth hamburger.
Oh. UHF?
Nope.
No. All right. What is it?
It's
I want my $2.
Oh, so it is John Cusack. It's not
It's
One
Better
Crazy
Off
Summer,
Dead.
but it's Better Off Dead. Yeah.
yes. Gosh dang it! I have.
Oh,
What do we
Monique
do?
was
What do
the
we do with that
French-
one?
With nothing, because it's
Chat? What
dead.
do we
It's
what
a-
do we do?
Well,
no one wins that
nobody
one.
wins that.
The
Nobody
chat,
gets a
the
point.
chat wins that one.
Sure.
There you go. One
That's
for-
a
one
dead
for
soldier,
chat.
that one.
Yeah, I conflate those
Yeah.
two all the
Monique
time.
was the French girl with the French toast and the French dressing and the.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Gosh dang it! Boogers in
Yeah,
that movie.
she's so pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, Brian?
Back to Scott. Nope, this is Scott's.
Okay.
Oh no, it is mine because he.
No, it's
right.
yours.
I had the chance. Right. I had the chance
I'm
to steal
taking-
that
By
one.
the way, sorry, the producer's staring at me saying 2 minutes. We have 2 minutes.
I want my
Hey, we're on
2
question
minutes.
10.
Oh,
we're
good.
on
This is
question
perfect.
10,
This
so
is
we
perfect.
worked it out really
Fine.
well.
All right.
Perfect.
Oh, plus, you notice I'm wearing camo for Lion King.
Oh, you mean Tiger King?
Yeah. I'm
Lion
wearing
King.
I'm wearing camo. Just so you can't see me. Okay, Brian. All right, so Brenda, Ramirez, Kurgan.
Oh,
Connor.
okay. Yeah, that'd be Highlander.
Oh, nice job.
Kurgan might be the giveaway on that
Yeah.
one too.
Hadjet Kurgan.
Better the burnout.
All right.
All right, so what's the score? What is the score?
All right, so fine. I'm pulling up the chat again. Final score? How do we
Probably
do?
5-4, Scott, I believe.
I do have a tiebreaker if we need it.
Oh, it's 4-4. We need a tiebreaker.
4-4.
Go.
All right,
give
we
it
need
to
a
us.
tiebreaker. Hide in the chat again.
So it's
All
whoever.
right, so tiebreaker
whoever-
is for
whoever's-
both of you, the first person in.
Okay.
Jump in first.
All
All right,
right,
cool.
Go.
Okay, cool. All right, Lewis, Clarence.
Jones.
Jones.
Revenge of the Nerds.
Ah, shit.
Nope.
Oh, good. Go. Keep going.
It's all yours. It's all yours.
Okay.
Lewis, Clarence, Jones, Murphy.
I know this.
Yeah.
Oh, aliens.
No one.
Is
No
it
one in the
RoboCop?
chat has got it yet. No.
It's
No,
not
RoboCop.
aliens.
No, everyone's going alien. No. Lewis, Clarence, Jones, Murphy.
It's the
Murphy
Jonesy.
known as Another Name, which is the title of the film. Yes. Capt Kipper got it. You
And
win,
it is?
Capt Kipper. Well done.
It is RoboCop. Okay, I thought I
Oh,
jump in.
Lewis
I did
and
jump in with
Murphy.
RoboCop, but I guess nobody heard me.
Oh, you said RoboCop?
I heard you. No,
I
I
did
I
after-
did hear you, but I was watching the chat as well. Well
Oh,
done.
then you win,
That's it.
Brian. That's it.
By a smidgen of a point.
Yeah, I give you
Just by
that.
1 point.
How did I get that wrong? Opper Murphy.
Opper
What's
Murphy.
wrong with me?
It's all right. Everyone in chat got it wrong too, so don't worry about it.
I was sure aliens because it sounded like a bunch of aliens characters, but it's not. Jonesy is a freaking cat. What was I thinking?
And Jonesy was the cat, but I guess you do see Jonesy the cat in the second movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this was Jones, and Aliens was Jonesy.
Oh man.
Well, they were. It was a term of endearment.
Ooh,
The
I'm
cat's
getting
birth
particular.
name was Jones.
getting very particular.
We named the dog Indiana.
All right, tell people the podcast one more time. Retro Cinema Podcast. Where do they get it? What do they do?
All right, they just go to Google and type in the Retro Cinema Podcast.
Simple.
That's all you need to do.
That's so easy. Go do that. Have a great
And
one.
Gidget von LaRue is spelt with Gidgit, not
Right.
ET.
Yeah,
Yeah.
ET is extraterrestrial. Okay, we already got that.
All right, and put me on camera one more time so I can say goodbye to my mother.
All right, say goodbye to your mom.
Okay,
You're up.
bye, Mum.
Okay.
Go to bed, Mom.
Yeah, go to bed, mum. Where is her mum? Probably in Australia somewhere. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, my sister Wendy will be here. We got a little follow-up on some stuff we talked about last week, so we'll talk about that and see how we're all doing in our COVID-19 self-isolation system that we're in right now. That'll all be up here next, so stick around. But Brian's got a song in the meantime. Brian can't hear me. Why is that? Let's figure out why. I don't know why. Why can't Brian hear me? Okay, now
there
you
we
can
go.
hear me.
You left me with Gidget, Scott. I didn't know what to do.
I don't know why that happened that way. All right.
Just her and me.
Oh, I hit the wrong button. That'll do that.
Which completely goes against my restraining order.
Yeah,
Really,
you,
her restraining order.
you're not, you can't be within 200 digital feet of Gidget von LaRue. So, or she
That's
can't
right,
be.
exactly.
yeah.
I'm not allowed to.
Hey, you should play us a song. Do you have a good song?
I have a good song. We're ready for songs, Scott?
Yeah, let's do a
Scott-
song.
Song time?
Yeah, you missed all that part where I said it was because I hung up on you like an idiot.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. So, you remember how yesterday I gave you that long name of that singer who goes by the name Ellis?
Yes.
All right. Well, I've got another one. Jessica Friziero, who's the lead
Whoa.
singer of a band called Lou Skylar, has her new project, which is called Zerita, Xirita, Zerita, or Xerita,
Wow.
which I always order when I go to On the Border. It's delicious.
Nice.
Australia loves her. Speaking of Gidget, Triple J, the radio program down there, compares her to.
Give me the bird! Give me the bird!
Oh, Mark. Mark, where are you?
This is the morning stream, exercising demons since 2012.
Sorry, my mic is muted. Hi, we're back. I muted my mic to breathe. But I'm back now. Brian did too.
I did too. Whoops. Yeah, it's funny. I muted my mic because you could hear my typing sounds. I'm like, I don't want to disrupt this chill, man, because
It's pretty chill.
it's very chill. Again, Xerita, Xirita. I don't know how you pronounce that. Come on, if you're gonna name your band, pick a way to pronounce it. All right.
Yeah, it sounds.
Don't go by Zerita.
Zerita. Yeah, that sounds right. Hi, Wendy, you there? No? Rings is ringing.
Maybe she muted her mic too. Maybe it's an all muted mic day here on TMS.
Gotta do that on Mondays. Muted Mike Monday.
That's right. People in the Denver area have started opening their windows at 7 p.m. and howling out into the ether
Really?
as a way to join together, like a together alone kind of thing.
Oh, weird. They did that in New York, and everyone yelled, "Shut the F up," or whatever they had. They,
Did they?
Yeah.
Well, it's New York.
they were like, "Hey, we'll be like Italy, and everyone will sing in solidarity out their windows." And then New Yorkers are like, "Shut up! Keep it down." Hey, Wendy, what are you doing? How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you
Good.
guys?
I made a new one of these.
Something wrong, Batman? Has anybody seen Wendy?
No, I want divorce.
All right.
Oh my God.
That's good
Fantastic.
stuff. Hey,
So my kids,
yeah.
my kids think I'm becoming a witch, and that voice right there is Exhibit A.
Oh, it's proof.
I,
The witch. That's the witch voice.
Yeah.
What advice?
Yeah, listen to
and
that.
I do a cackle now that I did not used to do. So it turns out I'm turning into a crone in front of everyone's face.
You have always done that thing Grandma did, though, real well, like that. Hello, that thing. Like I think that's just part of it. You're just moving into
I'm
it.
getting there.
Yep. It's just it's like a little space of life that's just waiting for you to walk in.
I know. I can't wait. I'll be the wise old wizened witch.
There you
That's
go.
the plan.
How are things in Minnesota at the moment? you guys?
Minnesota.
Yeah.
It's Minnesota nice.
Yeah.
It's good. We're all,
Everyone's
sheltering in place, as I think a lot of people are.
hunkering down. Yeah.
Hunkering down. You know what? It's funny. I haven't done anything different over, like, that's supposed to have started Saturday night, and I had done it for like 2 weeks prior. So I'm going on week 3 of this.
Yeah.
That's
what's weird is like
strange.
3 weeks ago we committed to it because the early thing was, all right, if you can do it now. So we did. And what blows my mind is there's still people that aren't doing it. Like I know that there are people who can't do it because they have to go to work. They're in a job or whatever. They have to do it. I totally get that. But I mean, just other people who didn't have to are just now going, oh, well, I guess I'll take this serious now that 5,000 people are dying. Like maybe I should take this seriously. Like that's so weird to me. And it's just, again, I can't get into their heads, but I've been doing this for 3 weeks now. And Kim and I are, this is a great test for marriages, by the way. Really is.
Oh,
Gosh, yeah, it's
boy.
like a road trip.
Yeah.
Boy, howdy.
Yeah.
Except you can't get out of the car. That's
Yeah.
the big
It's
difference.
true, right? You can't pull up to the Shoney's and go inside for a pecan log.
No, and you, man,
Wow,
that
very
is so specific. I love that. That's great. Hey, listen, Shoney's. We don't have Shoney's anymore around here, but we used to. They have the
I guess
best.
those Stuckies had the pecan log.
Oh, is that what it was? Okay, but Shoney's had amazing bacon, just incredible bacon.
Yes, really thick, peppery bacon.
Yeah, I could eat their bacon all day. Oh, so good.
They're bacon for hours.
Really good. Anyway, so Wendy, it's good to have you here. I hope things are. I don't know. Do you feel like it's a routine, or you've got a good routine with the kids and stuff yet, or is it still?
Yeah, I mean, school officially started Monday, and I am genuinely questioning the mental health of anyone who homeschools. Like, bless your hearts for your desire and doing it, but like, how are you normal? You can't be.
Yeah,
It's
and
so
also,
hard.
especially with multiple kids, if it's like one kid, I get it, right? I can maybe
Yeah,
make that work.
totally. And also, like, I guess building up is one thing, right? Whereas we all started randomly on a Monday.
Yeah.
But it's just, it's nice to have the high schoolers kind of know what they're doing, and it's helpful. And then, it's the 2 younger ones. I mean, one of them, the youngest, if I'm not with him 24 hours a day while he's doing it, it's not happening.
It's not going to get
So
done.
I'm like, this isn't, how can Adam work full time and me work and do 4 kids? And it's insane.
It's a lot, man. It's a lot.
So we have a lot of recesses. We're like, I guess it's recess again.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So
Go
we're
play
out. See, there's the witch.
Foursquare in the
So we go.
driveway. Yeah, there's that witch.
We
You
play
can't-
a
the
lot
witch.
of baseball, a lot of trampoline time,
Yeah.
a lot of waving at dogs when they walk by.
Somebody was making fun of me the other day because Utah has so many trampolines per capita.
Oh, yeah.
You can confirm this, right? Like, why do we have so many freaking
Absolutely.
trampolines here?
Because we have too many kids.
They're like swimming pools in Arizona. The trampolines
Totally.
here.
Same.
Nuts.
It's because everybody can't be on the ground at the same time in Utah.
It's hot lava game.
Oh man,
A tenth of your population needs to be in the air at any given time.
that's amazing. Actually, I wonder
Hey,
though.
by the way,
Yeah,
we've
yeah.
been watching Community with Abe. He finds it absolutely hilarious, and it feels like, I think
It's comfort
people
food.
have flip phones in it still. It's
Yeah.
very fun. Anyway,
I love that
do you
show.
remember the trampoline episode?
No.
Oh, they got a trampoline at the school, and it was hidden, right? And
it was hidden, and they go into the garden.
So they'd go in there, and it would be like their own secret private place until everybody found out about it.
And they were all in peace, and they would pause at the top of the jump. And so me and my kids would just do this jump where we pause at the top and pretend we're. And it turns out it was a Nazi racist guy who actually was the one hiding the trampoline. That was the end of that.
Yeah, that was
That's right. Oh, I need to go and watch that. That's the kind of comfort food I need right now.
It really does.
Yeah.
Like that
Adderall
Cable
Annie
episode
and
just makes
Jeff
you
Winger
so happy.
Yeah, it's a great show.
Troy and Abed in the morning.
Hey,
I need that again.
Wendy, let me
It's
ask
good
you
time.
this: since you were talking about homeschooling, now that we've got every kid in the public school system and private school system, for that matter, all using all online to do this, online courses are now mandatory. Shouldn't that mean that internet should slip into the basic rights category of services like power, water, those sorts of things?
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, Minnesota, I like to brag about the places I live. And let me just say this. There is not a kid who does not have a hotspot in their house. If they did not have internet, they have it now. Like, it's by law. You cannot ask. First of all, it's also a law here that employers, if you ask your employee to do work from home at any level, and obviously now it's a lot, they have to help provide your internet because it is a basic right to do your work and to do your schoolwork.
Yeah.
Agreed, 100%.
Yeah.
So
I
I live
think
in a place that's on
We're
top
just
of
at a place now where we're in a place at this very moment where this whole mess is very different if we're not connected the way we are. And
oh my gosh,
if it's
yeah.
not, if this doesn't make it plain that it is evolved into a basic service need, then I don't know who's arguing the other side of that. That would blow I don't know what that argument even looks like. I would love to hear it because.
Well, I think there's a long history of like, and when you do any research into poverty and sort of different elements about poverty, so often if you went to someone's home who didn't have a lot of money, you'll always find a large TV. And what happens in our minds is that's luxury. You should be working 45 jobs and not watching TV. But when you have so little, entertainment becomes a very high valued thing. And then also take technology. It costs less and less and less to get an amazing TV, right? It's one of those things where the price has gone down as technology has improved. And so, but I think folks who just kind of go, well, that's a luxury. Cell phones, they think the same thing is a luxury. How do these refugees have cell phones? What are they supposed to use? A payphone? There's nothing. It's now so fundamental to living life. It's not an option. And I think internet absolutely is in that same category. Like, it's just simply, it's like keeping someone from having a basic need.
And keep in mind,
cutting off their water or their
right.
electricity
We're
or
really
whatever,
just talking like, I mean, this is old news if you're following the tech scene, but the common carrier status for internet, it would basically put it in the same space as power and clean water treatment and those sorts of things. We all expect those. We all think that's great and should happen. And you're still paying your bills. You still got to pay for these things. We're not talking about that. But why not add good internet? Now you might say, I don't trust anyone to make good internet. It should stay in the 100% private sector and blah, blah. I understand.
The 100% private sector that has a full-on monopoly.
Yeah, that's the other problem is people act like it's a big open market. It's not.
It is not.
It's horribly not open market. So I'm just saying, if we're gonna, also if you're saying who was the governor? Was it Florida or somebody was arguing that churches are essential businesses that need to stay open on weekends so people can come to their services. And I'm like, if you're going to start calling those businesses, then
you better pay taxes, yo.
Yeah, start taxing them, man. Pay your taxes. All right. Anyway, that's not what we're going to talk about.
Church is so easy to do via internet. Like, hello, have you ever seen Billy Graham? Like, that's been done for 1 billion years. Like, come on.
Billy was cool.
700 Club.
Yeah, we can get that. Don't get me started on those people. Everyone's in full grift mode at the moment, and you're starting to see a lot of churchy, grifty stuff going on, and I don't hold with it. No, I don't. Okay, Wendy, we're going to talk instead today about another thing, but it's related. Got this email. I'm going to read it to you. It says, I listened to Thursday's episode and had a few questions, referring to last episode where we talked a lot about, the sort of mental health effects of what we're doing right now. It says, because I work in mailing and transportation, my job is deemed essential. I, like many Americans, live paycheck to paycheck. Therefore, a furlough for me could be devastating. I understand that for a lot of people, this is already a reality. I'm glad I can still work, and I know I can still take care of my family. Is this wrong? Am I selfish? I see celebrities telling people to stay home and be safe, but that's not my reality. Boy, I added some emphasis there. I didn't mean to. I'm not trying to bias this. But I'm kind of with him. It annoys me. Anyway, I don't have the means to take 14 days off of work and still keep my house, food on my table, and lights and water, etc. Our local water and electric company have already said that they will not disconnect anybody during this time, but at some point when this is all over, they will come to collect. I am doing my best to wash my hands and keep my distance from people, but am I wrong to still be out there doing what I feel I need to do? Now, I'll tell you my exact reaction to this, and then I want to find out how either wrong or right I am, because I have an immediate reaction to this. And my immediate reaction is, no, you should not feel guilty about this, because you live in a society and you are taking part in a society in a specific role that means you have little choice. Like, you don't have a lot of choice. And so I would say he shouldn't feel guilty. I think we have a system set up to make you feel guilty a little bit. And this isn't me going, down with capitalism. I'm not saying that, okay? What I'm saying is, there are people, the lady at our grocery store was telling us how psycho some customers have been, just like so rude and mean. And I can't believe they have to put up with what they have to put up with. And so, I just want to thank them. I want to hug them, but I can't. But I want to help them. I want to tip them. I want to, because they're like this guy. They're doing what they have to do. And I can't. Why would I could never be mad at a guy like this. It's impossible for me to go, this guy's selfish. Now, if he was somebody who was, I don't know, had a whole ton of money and savings, it was all set and everything was good, and had a job that let him work from home and he could do all that, and then still was going out and doing stuff in public, then I might say, yeah, dude, you don't have to. You cannot be part of the problem. But in his situation, he's not part of the problem. He's in a way he's a victim in his own way of the problem, and it sucks. But I have nothing but respect for people that.
He's got to keep the lights on. He's got to keep food on the table for his family. This is admirable. Yeah. This is
and he doesn't have the choice to do unemployment because his job is he has to do his job.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what I would say to him. Now, am I off base in feeling that way? Because I just this guy sounds awesome to me, and I have huge respect for him.
No, not at all. That was my first reaction too, and my initial sort of thinking about it is a little bit of like I hate when the wrong people feel guilty, right? It's like So and here's sort of a collective. Think of it as like a graph, right? Like you have so much pent up tension, anxiousness, worry, concern, and you're just kind of on edge, right? So that's where it may come out in a grocery store, right? Like you don't have this thing, I need this thing, and you have this thing, and so you're like either your worst self or your best self. I think sometimes we can see that happening for people, right? Yeah. And you take this continuum of maybe it's rage that everyone generally has on the internet. Now you triple it, and there's just a new place to sort of either signify that you're awesome, or the social signaling, or you're the hero, or that whatever. And so it's messy in that sense. It's not this simple thing like, hey, I got to do my job, but you can watch. You go online, you can watch what various people are doing. And sometimes it seems like, oh, look how privileged you are in your nice big home with all your space and whatever. You're social isolating. Really? That just seems like a vacation. Versus someone else who that is just not a choice to have that much cushion and safe. And so we have rage about that, or we have whatever about that. So take him. He's got something in him, like all of us do with this. So for example, let me just give an example. There is a influencer. I love that word.
Do you?
No, I hate it with my whole heart. Anyway, she is, and I don't even know her name because I refuse to even know her name, but apparently she was living in New York, 5 kids, and all she does is travel the world and blogs about her family's magic life. And so as part of being in New York, of course, this is all going down. So she rents an RV and then drives across the country. So she takes, 6, 7 people, all having been exposed to all of New York City, and then road trips it through the middle of America to, smear their germs on gas stations in Kansas or whatever, and documents the whole thing. And so it just looks like, wait a minute, what are you doing? Like you're doing the opposite of what you should influence us to do. And on one hand, can you blame her being in an apartment in New York for an endless amount of time with 5 kids that can't go outside? Like there's a murder-suicide ready to happen there. Like that's not good.
Right.
And yet, can you turn off your camera and influence this in a different, and I get it. It's her livelihood. It's how she does work and business and life. But there's a bit of like, where's your responsibility and how do people think things through when this is so new? So we have this amount of rage we can have towards someone who would be what seems selfish, and we don't take a lot of times for the empathy, right? All the way down to this guy who he still has this concern, this thing he would feel maybe for someone else doing something, but he knows that lady's got a lot of money, so why doesn't she just not do that? Versus, I'm screwed if I stop. And so does that make sense? There's sort of like, it's like a built-in reservoir everyone has that's probably a little more agitated than normal for criticism of other people. And sometimes that is going to turn on ourselves. And that's what it sounds like is happening a little bit with him. That guilt, it's for the wrong person and going to the wrong place because we all have some of these feelings. Like, I don't know if I'm explaining it right.
No, I think you are. Let me ask you this, because I feel I have guilt around this thing, but it's opposite. I feel guilty that I just happen to have a job and career that lets me shelter in place because that's already where it was. Yeah. Like I don't have an office I have to go to. I don't have a place that's considered essential that I have to go to experience that other kind of guilt. I have this guilt of like, man, I feel bad that there are so many people who don't have that or that can't do this. And while, we've been flooded with people saying what you guys do is really important to us. Thank you for continuing to do it. I'm hearing from nurses and doctors and all sorts of people saying that. And it's really heartening to hear it. And we're doing our best to be this really positive thing in people's lives, especially in our specific community. But at the same time, part of me is always like, oh, did you hear about that guy? Oh my gosh, I cannot believe that doctor, he's saved 50 people and now he's got it. Like, I just think about what I see is people doing real work, that have to be out there. And then I feel guilty because I can self-isolate. Brian and I can be here without it having it's still having an effect, don't get me wrong, but without having such an effect that it's devastating like it is for some other people. So I have that whole other kind of guilt. But I also think it's coming from the same source you're talking about, which is that feeling of projecting either
towards you or
toward or against me. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's a weird feeling to try to navigate that.
Well, and there's a bit of just mind trickery that can go a long way here, which is storytelling, right? Like we have to have meaning. We're humans. We need a story, we need meaning, we need a point. And, I think if you are a grocery store worker, whenever in your life has anyone said how you're a hero? Like, that's amazing. If you think about that for a minute. Celebrities are saying that you're their hero. Like, what? And it's because you are. And no one wants to do this thing that puts themselves in risk and deal with grouchy people and deal with, the shelves being empty and what that looks like. Oh, the humanity, right? So there's this strange, like, opposite to this as well, right? Which is, and this is what we do with tragedy generally, or this is a long stretching tragedy. Which we are not equipped to do. We're good with like sudden death, grieving, moving on. That's how we're built and wired. We are not good with someone suffering for 5 years with cancer and then slowly dying. That our bodies are not built to grieve slowly. They're built to grieve quickly and bounce back. Yeah. But this slow stuff, takes a major toll on our endocrine system. Essentially, we burn out, and then we feel numb, and then we feel bad that we feel numb. I mean, we really aren't built for it. So what we do with this type of thing is so we can slowly, I mean, we can watch the news every day and read about each and every death and have all of these, it's terrifying. And you can just slowly burn through your system that releases your stress hormones, burns you. I mean, anyone else eating candy all night, every night? That's me, right? Like
close. Yeah. I mean,
close. Yours isn't candy, but right. Close. Right.
Sure.
So it's our body is craving more food, and it's exhausted, most of us, because we're in a constant state of stress in a different way than maybe some people have experienced, obviously. Right. But this is collectively we're doing it. Just such a strange thing. And so what we have to do, and this is the trick, or the storytelling thing, is find meaning in smaller ways and find, like you're sheltering in place. There are people with the story that this is all a crock and it doesn't matter. And the economy is the most important thing. Can I just make something clear? The economy is a made up thing.
Yeah.
That is to serve us. We measure it with a lot of the wrong measurements. Like go to the country of Bhutan. Yeah. They measure happiness there. That's their GDP. It's general happiness.
Wait, did you say Bhutan? Because hold on. Brian knows what I'm doing.
Pull it up.
Let me just
passport.
I just got to play this real quick because we love it here.
Bhutanese passport.
There you go.
There we
All
go.
right.
Yeah, that's what I mentioned.
Yeah.
And I forget what they call it, but they measure, it's like gross happiness product or gross national, whatever.
Right.
Instead of, we measure money and we measure stock markets, and we get all those things confused with something real that is not quite what it is. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just it. We're capitalists. That's what we do. That's at our core, that's how we're going to measure if we're good or not. If everything grows all the time and we're just richer and richer. But what really is the economy is a lot of different other things, including the people, right? And all of the people that make the economy what it is, or anything even to measure, or people to even measure what it is, requires us to not be dead and requires us to collectively get through this and find vaccines and figure this out. And I mean, that's the actual economy that matters. So if your brain is only sticking with certain ways of thinking or stories, then this is all only horrifying, right? And then, but that's the thing about the good news that it comes out of this. I mean, if you focus on it, if you spend some real time just hearing about what people are doing, that's amazing. And sometimes it's simple, because it kind of has to be, right? We can't rush in with all of our equipment we've been saving up for this, right? There's a problem everywhere. And so we can't do the big gesture things and show up with our chainsaw and cut down the tree that fell on your house. But we can adjust our sort of individual story, if that makes sense, and work to make the collective one a little differently. I mean, I don't know how to do this. I just know that it can be done with individuals, and most things that can be done with individuals can be done with the collective. If that makes sense.
Well, if there's anything I've learned over the last 3 weeks, it's that humanity at scale is hard. It's so hard. It's much harder than you or just your immediate influence. But just, we were talking earlier about if you have one kid in your homeschooling, it's not so bad. You can figure out a way to do it. If you got 4 kids, it's a whole different animal. It just scales poorly, we just scale bad. And so what we're asking everybody to do right now is a giant at scale, for lack of a better term, experiment. And some people are, doing it and pulling their weight and doing it in a very unified fashion. And other people are, I hate to say it, I'm related to a couple of them who are just, defying this whole thing and think it's a conspiracy and won't take the vaccine when it comes out, and are just going down that path that we keep hearing from different people. And on the other hand, some of their religious leaders are like, get in here, the Lord has our back, get in here and worship on the weekend. I don't know why they're Southern, I'm sorry, I apologize, but but they're doing that, and that is just putting people at risk and not something that they're the God they worship would want them to do. So so I know they're full of it, and I get mad at that. How do you do this kind of stuff where you're experiencing the guilt, those two kinds of guilt we've already talked about, but then also you hear about and see people doing horrible things, and you're trying to follow Mr. Rogers' advice and look for the helpers, right? You're trying to do that, but they're harder to see because we're all separated from each other. Normally when you're around somebody, you're like, I can see that firefighter fighting that fire.
They're blocked by a guy with a shopping cart so full of toilet paper you can't see around it.
Yeah, it can happen. So, I mean, it's just such a cacophony of emotional stuff. I took your advice and went on a 2-day, about a day and a half, I guess, news fast.
Yeah, how'd it go?
The first news I listened to, and I say listen to because I did radio this morning. I listened to NPR this morning, and it was great because they were talking about a kid who was creating comic books while he was being trapped, and he's like this amazing artist nobody knew of, and he's probably going to have a career out of it because of it. So it was a cool little side story thing. So it wasn't about briefings or who's doing what and who's blaming who or any of that. So even that was just pretty mild, but it was nice. It was nice not to have the constant, because here's the other thing. The people who are trying to link bait you all year and all the time, that's still a job. They're still doing that. They haven't stopped and gone, you know what, during this time of crisis, we're no longer going to try to bait people into wondering why O.J. Simpson thinks that Carol Baskin killed her husband and fed him to tigers, which is the thing this morning I noticed.
Really?
Yeah. Like,
wow.
Of all people. But
I'll help you find the real killer.
Yeah. If I did it, here's what I would have done.
Right.
But, like that turned out to be really good advice for me, and I would highly recommend it to people. And I don't mean put your head in the sand. I don't mean ignore stuff. I guess what I'm saying is you already know what you're supposed to do or what you can do or what's best for you to do. You don't need more than that at the moment because we're still, I keep bringing it up, but we're still between the lightning and the thunder here. And we don't really know when that sound's going to happen and then what we can make of it. So while you're there, you know what you can do. Just reading how outraged somebody is or how stupid a thing a politician said is just going to eat you up. I mean, I've let this Georgia governor guy get way under my skin. I don't even live in Georgia, and I have no impact on Georgia at all. Yet I'm annoyed with him going, we just learned you can transfer it without actually having symptoms. Right? Like it just gets under my skin in such a way that I realize some of this is fun for the show, but I realize that I could have ignored that or not even gone near it because it doesn't mean I don't care about Georgians. It doesn't mean I don't care that his bad misinformation does literally affect the lives of his constituents. That's not, I can still care about those people, but I don't necessarily need to know what a giant flaming dumbass he is. And I could have gone about my day and probably had a better day as a result. So I'm kind of rambling now, but you know what I mean.
No, and if Stacey Abrams would have won, we'd have a different story.
That's true.
This is why you got to vote, everybody. But anyway, so here's the thing: you're right, and you're on to all the right things. I'm just going to add something. So because what that is taking a day and a half off of news.
Yeah.
Is like self-care in a way that is crucial. So we've talked about self-care before in the show. We've talked about, you do this, you make a list, you do something. I mean, make a list again and do one thing every day. It will help. But this is like emergency self-care in a marathon kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
So putting something in your daily life or taking something out that does not serve you. I mean, a very powerful exercise would be to sit down and go through the last 24 hours and write down what you did, what you read, what you thought about, or even start right now and then write down whatever you do for the next 24 hours. You'll be shocked at how panic scrolling you are, or how much TV you're watching, or how much candy you're eating, or maybe you're drinking too much, or you're zoning out, you're not moving enough, you're not outside enough, or whatever, right? You'll get a sense of that because it's a zombie land. Like, I swear I didn't even know it was Thursday until the call started ringing. I was like, oh, I guess it's Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it is such a bizarre time warp. So this is hard. What I'm saying is hard, but to really assess, like, what am I doing? And then take each item and go, is that serving me? Does that, and you know what? Netflix is serving you. It's giving you dopamine. But if you do it for 5 hours, it is no longer serving you. That glass of wine is serving you, but 10 of them is not serving you, right? But because here's the problem. I'm sorry,
Brian, we really struck one with Brian now.
What's the middle ground though between 1, 5? Okay, good. I'm good. I'm still good.
But here's the thing about this is that there's a reason. So we're craving the dopamine of the escape, right? The release from reality, because reality is, in my case, these are the 2 words, the most boring and the most busy I've ever experienced. I'm so busy and I'm so bored. And it's a nightmare. And so if I watch a TV show, so I get a couple episodes of Community and I am in a different place. I'm laughing out loud. I'm having I'm leaving the current planet.
Right.
That is incredibly valuable. But if I did it all night and then I'm done, what do I feel? So you've got to really ask, if it serves me, I feel good afterwards. If it's not serving me, I'm doing something too much and I need to figure out how to stop that. So sometimes it's taking a break, right? So if I'm panic scrolling the news all the time, then I need to cold turkey that for 2 days and have a reset, right? If I have been drinking every single night, then I need to stop for 3 days and see what happens and think about my feelings or, whatever. And so it's adjusting a little bit of what we're doing to take care of ourselves. This includes, if you've got family and there are people who are young and don't know how to handle any of this, you got to get yourself in a position where you can then help them, right? It's a whole thing we talked about with the air mask or the mask on the airplane, is that you've got to, I have to wake up and I do 10 minutes of really crappy meditation because my brain is on fire. But I really learned to relax myself before I leave my room and start interacting with my kids. And the days I do that, I am 1,000 times better than the days that I don't.
Yeah.
Walking a lot, running, petting the dog. There are things that are biologically really important to do and to do them consistently, because everyone's system is doing, on a different frequency than we've ever been on. And so it really matters. It really, really matters. So, and analyze it. What are you doing? Let's go back to the emailer for a second. He is on the front line doing what he has to do, and he's exposing himself, which then means he's exposing anyone he's around. Potentially that risk or that fear or that it's terrifying. So he needs more than anything to do some self-care, especially when he's feeling so guilty. If the whole world could turn to him and say, you have permission, do it, do your job, pay your bills. You're one of the few who has permission. We need you to do it. That's the story shift, because that's true. That's what it is. We need him to do his job. And so if he can absorb that a little bit, that it matters what he does and that it's okay. And I'm going to stay home because I can. So he can go out and do what he can do. And he's taking the risk for me, right? And so if he can get his head wrapped around that story, he still needs to be careful. But more than anything, he needs to make sure he is relaxing at some point in his day. He is giving himself a break in his head. I highly recommend mindfulness meditation for training your brain to do this. Whatever it might be, but he also cares for himself, because what guilt drives us to do sometimes, especially if it's misplaced guilt, is to behave or do things that are self-destructive and not do the opposite of self-care. So that would be my advice, is that he listens to the story we're telling him, because it's the true one.
Right.
And adjust his story and work with relaxing himself so that guilt does not get to self-sabotage anything in his life.
I feel like some of these ideas we've been talking about on here since 2011, here and there. Like this idea of self-care is a big returning topic for us. It feels crazy that this now is go time on hopefully integrating that stuff into our lives now. Now we've talked about it a lot. Now we got to do it.
Well, and let me say one thing about that really quick, because I am going to pimp realsteps.org, because we're starting on Monday. We're trying to create, we've created something and we're trying to hone it into something that it very much is baby steps that get you to behave in a way that you are proud of and feel good about. And that you like yourself, right? Like that's what we're doing, but we're doing it very slowly. And if you just heard what Scott said in 2011, you've been listening this whole time, but you suck at self-care because you've never implemented it. Here is my answer to that. It's okay. Because you start today. Today, you do one small thing, one tiny little thing that just is nurturing to you. And if you hear a voice go, I don't deserve that. Well, get your BetterHelp therapist on the line, because it's time to figure out why you are not allowed to be kind to yourself, right? And so those one tiny steps will teach us what we need, will teach us what's in our way. But if you do jump to anything like, okay, fine, I'm doing a spa day and I'm going to not work for the next month, that's how I'm going to self-care. Well, okay. You're jumping to a thing you think you understand rather than literally behaving yourself into a new way of thinking, right? A little bit. So that's this idea of something very small. So for anyone who's like, oh, I haven't done it and I'm not ready. No, relax, take a breath. Right now, write down 10 things that make you feel good, that are small, free, and obviously inside your house. And do one every day. Just do one every day. And it can be a different one. It can be the same one. I had my popcorn and my movie last night, so I'm feeling good, right? Like whatever that is. And then just start to do that. And it's small. You're not behind. You're fine. But you have today, and then again, you have tomorrow. Like there's always a chance to do that thing that is the right thing for you. I'm going to quote Frozen 2, do the next right thing. There we go.
Nice.
It's a good choice for
yeah, that's all right. It's funny, it's weirdly connected to something that I had to do when I started this new comic strip.
Yeah.
I had this feeling of like, you can't start a new one now. Like, like this, it's too late. You can't start this new thing. It's like, you can't start it. Like, no, you can, because then suddenly you're 10 in, you're like, oh my gosh, I can actually see a eventual collection book forming out of this. But you got to do that day one thing. It sounds so fundamental and easy, but you just forget that you just got to go. Like, oh, woe is me. I haven't done this for so long. All right, well, do it now then. Oh, you couldn't do it today? It just didn't work out? Okay, well, then do it tomorrow. Like, just make sure you freaking do it. And if you stop, then redo it. Like, I don't know. I don't know why that's both basic and dumb that I'm even saying it, because obviously that's how it's supposed to go, but
it's very hard.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Well, inertia is very powerful, right? I'm on a roll. I've got my so many days in of this, and then I screwed it up, and then we're done. Yeah. And it's very human of us, right? But that's partly because we're just using it, the forward momentum, rather than some other skills. And so there is a skill to develop, which is, I start again today. And it's not even again. I'm just doing a thing today that makes me feel good. Yeah. Like, isn't that crazy? We have to like plan out and write down and make sure we do something that actually treats us well or makes us feel good.
Yeah.
Tends to be, I'm going to eat this thing until I feel sick. Well, how about we stop that? We're like puppies. So I'm going to just turn it right into my pimp, if that's okay.
Yeah, turn it into your pimp.
So pimp it out. So go to www.realsteps.org.
Yeah. I like that you made sure to let people know to put the 3 W's in there.
The WWs, yeah.
3 W's.
It's important stuff.
Realsteps.org, and sign up. We're starting Monday, the final time to sign up. I guess maybe I'll let you go to Saturday afternoon, but or Sunday. It's going to start Monday, and it's not on Facebook. Woohoo! And it's going to be amazing. And it is. There's kind of 2 tracks within it. So if someone has already been doing Real Steps or feels like they have a pretty good health baseline or whatever, there is a version of doing it that is a little more challenging. And then there is most of us will be doing and I will be doing it at the same time, very basic, one baby step at a time. And we start with very fundamental mental health and physical health things that, anyway, it builds on itself. So it's going to be great. So please go sign up. This gives you something to do. You have, all the time in the world, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You got nothing else going on? Just hop on over there and
it's self-care in like the most concrete slow building way. So if that is a struggle for you, this would help you tackle that for sure.
Nice. Well, this is all very good. We'll continue. I have a feeling this segment will be about this stuff for a while, different aspects of it. So tune in next week for more. Wendy, it's always good to have you on.
Yeah.
I hope, have fun with what fun you can have.
Oh, wow.
And, have some indoor fun.
I keep having this like weird feeling that Wendy is going to come out of this like a Fortnite professional player or something, like something weird.
Would that be amazing?
Like an Overwatch diva expert.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh, we should do a whole show
Yeah.
on silver linings, because I think there's a bunch of interesting silver linings.
Mm-hmm.
For us personally, probably, and then just generally. And then I think we should do one of like come up with a thing I have to do while in quarantine.
Oh, I like it.
That would be insane, or something you guys would have to do.
Yeah, we're the ones usually get the homework. We give Wendy a little homework. And
give me some
change.
Yeah, exactly.
Improve your ranking on Hearthstone.
There you go.
Oh my word!
She probably doesn't even know what
First of all,
that is.
I'd have to Google what that is first.
She'd have to look and find out what it is before she even plays it. Here's the other thing: is you would, this is probably shocking, but you'd be amazed what a couple of weeks of vastly lower emissions does to the Salt Lake Valley. It is the prettiest, cleanest, crispest.
I can only imagine.
They were showing Denver on the news yesterday, and it's like we're down 59. Like our smog, the brown cloud is down 59%.
Wow.
Yeah. It's unbelievable.
It's now
seriously,
Wendy,
you can be in Draper and see details on buildings in downtown Salt Lake City. It's crazy.
Is insane. Honestly, that is the number one reason I can't live there.
Yeah.
Is the pollution. And maybe I could come back if you didn't have earthquakes.
Yeah. If we weren't having earthquakes. Although Idaho had the worst one the other day. I don't know what happened up there. That was scary.
What is that mountain range doing?
I don't know. Some people keep getting worried about Yellowstone stuff, but it doesn't appear to be connected if you talk to actual experts. So I think it's just, bad timing, shifting Earth. Just your typical thing.
Is it just everything we need right now?
Maybe.
We all need to be frozen, scared, so the Earth can have a minute.
Yeah. But if any of your preachers out there say, come in here and pack this place full because the earthquakes and the pestilence, don't believe it.
God's gotcha.
No,
we've gotcha.
Don't do it. Don't go in. Get a better church. All right. Wendy, have a fantastic week, and we'll talk to you next time. Goodbye.
All right. Bye.
All right. Should probably check on my mom today.
Yeah, check on your mom.
Haven't talked to my mom.
I text my mom every morning at 7:30 a.m.
Oh,
she asks me to.
That's so nice. That's a really cool thing you do.
It's
I like
via
that.
text.
Yeah, still.
I'm trying to find an app that'll do it automatically. Hey, Mom, how you doing? Maybe I feed in 10 different,
those birds that dip down
responses, and it just randomly picks one of those 10.
Tap send. Beep every day. That's amazing.
Exactly.
All right. That will do it for today. Quick email from a listener named Lewis. This came to us via the website, actually. They just used a little quick form on there at frogpants.com/TMS and says, hey, Scott and Brian, I know you guys like the Great British Bake Off. You should also enjoy the Great British Throwdown. It is a similar show, but with pottery and ceramics. It may inspire Scott to actually start using that lump of clay bot that's still sitting right over there.
Is it still wrapped in plastic?
Yeah, it's weird how I feel like I have less time, but I should have more. Anyway,
no, I do too. It's crazy.
Really weird. Anyway,
I was really hoping to paint some figurines from my Marvel Crisis Protocol game. Like it's hard. Just got MODOK painted. That's it. I want to paint some more.
It's hard for some reason, but anyway, maybe we'll get around to it. The show is currently on Channel 4 in the UK, but like the Bake Off, older seasons are up on the BBC app and so on. I would definitely check this out. I'd love to watch that. Yeah. I like the British take on reality TV, or at least this brand of it. I'm sure they have their own garbage over there too.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's like video games. You can't say, oh, all video games just suck across the board. It's like, no, there's some that are, that are really good. Some that are just money grabs or hot garbage. So.
Good comparison. Hey, also, I got a question for a listener who lives in Rigby, Idaho. Won a pack of cards for me a couple of weeks ago. Okay. The problem is I never got their name because it was over Twitch and it was a private message, and I don't remember the nickname even. So for me to mail it, I need your name. So if anyone out there is like, oh yeah, I was that person in Rigby, can you get a hold of me? Send me an email. I want to just make sure you get your cards. I would feel really bad if these didn't get to you. If you're in the chat now, that'd even be better because then we can take care of it now. But if not, whoever it was in Rigby, Idaho that won, and let's do the honor system here, people. I'm not giving cards to anybody who says they're from Rigby. I want to make sure to get that out to you and in the right hands. So if you don't mind, that'd be great. Okay. That's it from us. Patreon.com/TMS is how the show is fueled. Big thanks to everybody who's continued to be regular patrons of the show. It means a lot during this weird time. That's patreon.com/TMS. It's a brand new month and a chance for you to get some cool extras. We will have PM Edition this weekend. There's been some confusion about how it works. It's actually pretty simple. Basically, we post a live link for the live show to Patreon directly. It's actually, we use YouTube because they let you do private streams. But we put that up there, and then when we do that, if you have your settings right on Patreon, it'll just mail you and say, hey, it's going live. And you can watch it right there. And it's also archived there, plus we put the audio version up there as well. So all roads lead to patreon.com/TMS if you're looking for the Friday PM edition, which we'll do tomorrow, by the way. So be here for that if you are a patron. If you're not a patron, super easy to get in, and any level gets you in. So give it a shot. All right. Frogpants.com/TMS for everything else. Let's get out of here. Do you have a song?
I do have a song. By the way, Ken from Chicago. Both the cat and the dog are totally fine. Doing well. I don't know. Inara just doesn't get up in the perch since Remus left. She thinks that it must stink like Remus. So even if I put her in there, she hops out immediately. So we got to wait for her to figure out that that's her place again, you know?
Sure.
It'll take time.
Sure.
So this one, Scott and I talked about this one via text last night and said,